Hello, subscribers and onlookers. Welcome and welcome back. Um, I was going to make this video a live, but I had some technical difficulties. So if you saw a video has been removed, that's what it is. Um, this topic came to me a while ago. Um, as you can see in the title and description box, it is in regards to this metaphorical table. What's that about? Okay. Um, but I didn't really have the initiative when I first saw this topic going around to speak on it, let alone make a video on YouTube. But I was led to do this, and it's been a work in progress to get this out. But without further ado, stay tuned. We're getting right into the meat of it. So, what is this metaphorical table all about? And how can we as women answer this question in all sincerity? First we have to ask ourselves the question, then we are able to answer it, right? We are able to answer ourselves and answer if it is asked to us. Now, I just want to say real quick, this video is for women and men, okay? But more specifically, these are for the women and men who want like more traditional um marriage commitment. Um I'm single as of now, and I think it's really important to establish a little bit of my background. A single bachelorette out here who wants to be in a seriously committed relationship, i.e., marriage. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyway, we're just gonna keep going. Oh yeah, it's getting close to my bedtime, so it's a little. Um, anyway, with that out the way, that's my background. This video is for, like I said, for men and women who want a more traditional marriage. And have those like traditional values at your core. Now, in this modern world, it's really hard I found it, I guess, more difficult or challenging to communicate to men that are either interested in me or that I'm interested in. Yes. It's hard for me, or has been difficult at times, to communicate what it is I actually want. And so with this question, I feel a lot of women have been stumbling on this question for a few reasons. One being they don't understand themselves. They don't have clarity on what they truly believe. I feel like a lot of us modern women and men are subjected to the cultural norms of society, and the media presentation in our lives has constructed all of these different beliefs all over the place, and we don't take time to really comb through to see what we still believe in, and the things that we don't believe anymore, and the new beliefs that we have that are contradicting the old beliefs we've had. It's seriously a time to go in and figure all that sugar honey iced tea out. It is time to really get down to the core of it. And that's one reason why a lot of women are fumbling on this question. Another one is this word submissive gets thrown around, and women are just like, "Ow! Get that away from me! No, no, submission, block, 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 block." And they're like, "I want to be a powerful woman. I want to be independent." Well, this video is not for you, boo boo. This video is for women who know what it means to truly be submissive and know that there is power in submission. Okay? It just looks a little different. It takes a different form, a different shape, just like how men are built differently than women and women are built differently than men. It doesn't stop at the surface, okay? we So I'm off of that tangent. That's my background. I've introduced my audience, the people that I'm reaching out to. This ain't just for everybody. This is only for the select few who can follow the bouncing ball. All right, moving on. So, how do we answer this question? Well, understand that in real life and reality, no one is going to come up to you and ask you, so, what do you bring to the table? No, this is something that we see online, on social media, with people who have panels or doing reaction videos to group discussions or whatnot. No one's going to actually just flat out ask you, what do you bring to the table? Now, let's break that down. In a relationship sense, the table is the relationship. The relationship is the table. The table is the relationship. What do you bring to a relationship? Um, to further clarify, what value do you bring to this relationship? And the reason why I'm laughing is because it's silly how simple the answer it really is. And it's unique to your own individual person. But there are in general, like cookie cutter things that men and women are looking for. Initially, I would say the majority of us, what we want the other to bring to the table. And that may have come out a jumbled mess. So let me just kind of break that down. In this video, in just a few moments, I'm going to explain the general, from my viewpoint, right? From the general things that men should bring to the table and the general things that women should bring to the table, or that we organically should bring to the table, not like naturally bring to the table, right? So before I get into that, I want to let it be known that what this whole question is about is basically wrapped up in the vetting process. In real life, this question is answered in actions. It's answered in, the words you choose to express to the other. In this vetting process or in the dating process, you're getting to know each other. You're seeing what, your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. You're not always flat out saying, hey, this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm bad at. It's kind of evident after a while what strength this person has and what weaknesses they have and things like that. And a lot of times can become bitter, men and women alike. We can become bitter after failed relationships that fail were meant to fail, and the relationships that are recovered are meant to be recovered. And why that is that when you get to a certain point in the relationship, it you have to take some accountability for its failure or its success, right? And a lot of times we have a trouble taking accountability for ourselves and how we let it get this far. So we get bitter because we feel like we wasted our time getting to know someone. But I'm at a place in life, emotionally, mentally, and I want all of you all to be there too, because it's a wonderful place to be. I'm in a place where those wasted times, that wasted energy is no longer a waste. It's actually of good use to you, because in that time you have assessed what you don't want in a partner and assessed the person you don't want to be, because in that relationship it may have brought out something that you didn't like about yourself, or it reflected back to you what you don't want in a partner. So all this time, you've just been accumulating things that you really desire. And Source knows that this is what you really want. You thought you wanted that, but this is what you really want. And so, with that in mind, you're already putting yourself energetically at a higher vibration, looking at those failed relationships as, well, it's a lesson or it's a blessing. So when we change our mindset, we change the perspective, then we can change our lives. Save the cheerleader. Save the world. I told y'all this is my bedtime. Look. Oh, I'm going to say it again. Yo, this is good. This is... Ooh, y'all, I love me some tea. Herbal tea is my jam. This is a blend of raspberry leaf, cinnamon and chamomile lavender blend. Oh my gosh. That's my sleepy bye tea. Back to the so now we got all that out the way. This accumulation of all the things that we want, right? That's where we left off. So now you have this image in your third eye, in your eye's mind, of the person that you want. And it's not always just like their physical appearance. It's really on an energetic level, how like you felt when somebody brought you flowers, how you felt when you were able to do something nice and for, your significant other. Those feelings that we give off and those feelings that we receive have everything to do with what we attract and what we repel in our reality. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Moving on. Now we're in it. Okay, now we're here. This is the moment, right at the 11th minute mark. In general, what most men bring to the table is their masculinity. This encompasses a lot. Okay, men, beautiful, beautiful men, you and your masculinity is what you bring to the table. Within that, you are great providers. You are great supporters and protectors. You are great at leading and guiding, and you know how to be vulnerable and and allow love in and to give love out, right? You being a well-rounded masculine man operating in your natural way, okay? This is what you bring to the table. That is the cookie cutter of what you bring to the table as a man into any relationship is your masculinity. And it's not like just the physical attributes, strong. You think strong, masculine man. Yes, strength is great. Mental strength, awesome. Physical strength, bonus, like plus. Now I'm gonna talk about a man who is able and willing and capable of self sustainability. He has his emotional maturity in check. He's able to be vulnerable, but not, when I say the word vulnerable, I mean, for men, I know it's hard to communicate, but you gotta do it. There's no way around it. There's got to be some communication, and with communication, you got to be able to be open with your partner. So this is someone, a man who is able to love and trust openly. If you can't do that, then you may want to take a break from trying to find love and find love in yourself, because that's what you want, is to be so in love with yourself and with source that you're able to be comfortable in your masculinity and embrace your feminine aspects. Okay, so there should be a balance. But in general, this is what men bring to the table: their ability to protect, to provide. When I say provide, I don't just mean finances. Of course, that's a big deal for traditional people. Is the man is the breadwinner. They bring home the bacon. How we went from bread to bacon, I don't know, but that's just how they say it. Okay, they bring in the bread. Okay, and then we got some bacon on the table. Metaphorical bacon, because we ain't eating no pork. We ain't eating no swine over here. But basically, you're as a man, you're providing other things too. You're not just providing finances. You're providing support, care, a listening ear, understanding. You bring all this to the table, right? Because that's what you want in most of all your relationships. Those that are close to you, you want to have that mutual give and take, So being able to lead, being able to guide, this is very important. I may be one of the few women who ever admit this, but, and if I may be alone in this, I really don't think I am though. Personally, I like this as a basic thing, because I do need someone to lead and guide me. I do need someone to protect me, and I do need someone to be able to provide things that I need. Um, so if you're a man and you don't have your sugar honey iced tea together, you're not able to provide for yourself, to protect yourself, to lead and guide yourself, and to be able to love yourself, then you cannot give it in a relationship. Okay, that's the justice in it all. That's the fairness. If you can't give it to yourself, you can't give it to anybody else. So, fellas, check yourselves. See if you're able to do this for yourself. And if you can do this for yourself and you're able to stand 10 toes down and move forward in life, then you are ready. You may not have the biggest house or the flashiest car or the bling bling, whatever. That doesn't matter. What matters at the end of the day is the core of your identity and who you are. That's what matters. Moving on. Women in general. Ooh, my bad. This is what we should. That tea is so good. This is what we should bring to the table naturally. Our femininity. Our femininity. And within femininity, you're supportive, you're nurturative, you're receptive, you're cooperative, and you are respectful. Okay? That's not to say that women can't provide, that women can't protect, that women can't lead and guide and love. I'm not saying that men can't give support, they can't give nurturing. I'm not saying that they can't. I'm just saying these are the things that we have generally in mind when we're seeking a partner. When a man is seeking a woman, he is seeking someone who is feminine. That's that softness, okay? That ooey gooey, mushy, lovey dovey stuff that they can't get anywhere else but from a woman. When I'm talking, let me make sure I'm talking to men who want to wife women and women who want to be wifed by men. Okay, so when I say the ooey gooey mushy stuff that he can only get from a woman, I'm not just talking about the viscous innards. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about our nature, our softness, our nurturing touch, our caring tongue, our receptive and open and teachable mind. And when I say respect, put some respect on it. This is a world that was built and engineered by man, okay? And the man was only able to do that because he had a woman at home. So there's your power. Yeah, this is what they call a man's world. Well, women run it right now. It's so off balance. It's like, wait, who was it? Was it Drake who said, no, J. Cole. He was like, they act like two legends cannot coexist. So picture this, men and women as legends. We can coexist. We can both be in our power and not try to be in front of the other, because I'm going off into a tangent just real quick. Feminism is fine. Like, being feminine is great. But this construct, this movement, this feminist movement, oh, it is detrimental to society. The first wave or two, cool, great. It's when we started getting into all these other waves that happened that I'm like, oh, I can see how that's really mucked up. That's really not healthy, because what it has turned into, this feminist movement, which is supposed to be empowerment to women, has actually backfired, and now women want the power. They want to be on top. They don't want equality. They want to be supreme. That's what I have an issue with. That's why I had to revoke myself as a feminist back in the day, because when I say back in the day, I'm talking about like maybe like 7 years ago. like back when I was in college. Like, yeah, I was like, I was a feminist, all right? I was in it, and then I realized I could say some things, but I'm not going to say. But you looking around the room, when I go back there and I look around the room, and the women that were the forerunners of the feminist movement in college anyway. I'm not talking about globally or in the US. I'm talking about just in a little school. I'm talking about look around the room and none of the women, maybe like two, look like me. I think most of the women, you know, not to say that that's, a bad thing. I'm just saying like I felt a little bit out of place initially, and then some of them were not the most feminine. They were not the most feminine women either. So I'm just going to leave that there. So that's why I say this message ain't for everybody. Now, I want to I'm going to give a bonus tidbit before I go. But before I get into the bonus, you made it this far into the video. Thank you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And comment. Yes. Like, did I miss one? Yeah. So this is I guess an excerpt from Dr. Miles Monroe. Love his speeches. R.I.P. Um, the I'm gonna read just this little bit that I wrote down. Qualities of a good woman. I meant to share this at the beginning of the video, but that's okay. Qualities of a good woman. And I wrote, as he said, and I quote, just to make sure y'all don't think these are my words, and I quote from Dr. Miles Monroe, how to be a perfect lady. A good woman is rare, like rubies and pearls. You have to dig for them. Pearls come from oysters. Rubies come from rocks. Gems come from dirt. And so, yes, it is rare to find a good thing. It is rare to find a good woman and a good man. It is rare only because we haven't been exposed to it. Good men are out there. I know they exist. And good women are out here. You know they exist. You have one example right in front of you. Just saying. And what I got from that message, one of two things, probably more, but I won't get into all of it. One is that our past, where we come from, the traumas that we faced head on, at some point we had to, right? Has made us who we are today. Precious jewels, rubies, pearls. Sometimes you find them in the most unlikely places, but you know what? They are beautiful. We are beautiful. But what makes us even more beautiful is being able to be accountable. What makes us more beautiful is being compassionate. What makes us more beautiful is being receptive and respectful to men. And this topic came up when I saw a comment on, someone commented on my comment under a video of a reaction. This is the chain of events. Follow me. And that video that I watched and commented on, that somebody commented towards my comment, was women that were being asked by men, what do you bring to the table? And the women were so combative. They were not opening their ears and shutting their mouths. They did more running of the mouths and clogging of the ears, that they couldn't actually take in what the men were trying to say. They couldn't, it wasn't even going inside of the ear and going out the other. It was just fight, resist, oh no. And boy, I was like, this would have been a really good conversation between men and women to have if the women were able to just be quiet and listen to what is being asked and not misconstruing anything. And if they didn't have clarity, instead of getting defensive, they should have asked, so what do you mean by that? But not in a competitive way, not listening to respond or react. No, you want to listen to understand and to hear what the other person is saying. So I just wanted to make that statement real quick to give you guys an idea of how this video came to be, to bless these YouTube streets. Moving on. The bonus. Okay, so I'll be right back for that. Just give me a second. I'm back. I really didn't do nothing except for take a sip, a private sip. Some things are just better enjoyed alone. Okay, so here's the bonus. This is a few things, not everything. Get this somewhere safe. This is just a few things. I guess that should have been a good time to pause the video. But anyway, um, a few personal traits that I bring to the table or characteristics that I would bring to a relationship, right? Just to give you guys an example of how to answer this question beyond the, basic things that we should be bringing to the table, as a feminine woman. Personal traits that I bring to the table: positive self image, compassion, emotional stability and maturity, planner, organization, teachable, romantic, passionate, and good with my hands. So that's in a nutshell what I bring to the table and to a relationship. And I'm only able to give those things because I do them for myself. And you're like, what? You probably aren't doing that, but in my mind you are. What? What you say that again? What do you bring to the table? So let me break it down. A positive self-image. This is important, ladies, because you know what gets us a lot of the times, I would say 9 times out of 10, how we fall so short from the glory is that we are insecure with ourselves. And men can be insecure too. I'm not saying that's a woman trait. I'm just saying I'm not just speaking for women when I say this part. Like, bringing a positive self-image. I'm not saying get all up in your ego and thinking you the sugar honey iced tea above all else, but you do want to have a high regard for yourself, a high respect for yourself. When you're able to give yourself respect and have a positive image of yourself, you won't be insecure in a relationship with someone else. Point blank. And nothing outside of myself is going to disrupt me unless I allow it. So that kind of bleeds into the next point is emotional stability and maturity. I'm not saying that there are some cases that maybe my emotions are a little bit all over the place, depending on the moon time or depending on, what's the emotional upsets that may come up any given day at any given moment. But I have the maturity to be able to know that it's not my partner that's making me feel this way. It's really myself. So having that emotional accountability. Ooh, that word accountability is so hard for women to accept accountability. But that's where, you want to be able to bring that to a relationship because you're able to give it to yourself. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? It's all coming together now. So me personally, I have to say this. To me personally, I would need a man that is spontaneous, who has some spontaneity. There you go. I was gonna say who's spontaneity. See, I struggle with this word because I don't do it much. I can ooh, let me not lie, because these past few days it's been so spirit filled, and I've been following source that I have a lot of excitement in my life, but like my excitement is like what most people would consider boring. Like, I'm a hermit by nature. Like, it really like. But anyway, let me not get off subject. Planner. I'm a planner. I like to be organized. That's what I bring to the table. I've had a lot of people ask me, why do you need to know this? And why do you need to know that in regards to like time and day and, at what point and ETA? Like, people are like, why you want to know? Cause I want to plan. I like to be prepared. That's what I bring to the table. I want to like. I've been in a lot of situations over the years where I felt underprepared and not ready. That I want to be ready. I want to be prepared, and that's what I am learning to improve on all of these traits. Always room for improvement, but I'm able to give this in relationship because I give it to myself. I'm teachable. I love to learn. So that's really good when you have a real man in your life. when you have a real example of what a man should be, not some carbon copy of what they think a masculine man is, or a man who possesses these leadership traits and these good qualities. um, what I found is men in general know more about how the world works. I'm not trying to down women. I'm not trying to down myself at all. I'm just saying men have a better understanding of the inner workings of the world. They go out and they bring that information back in. And I want to know what's going on out there, especially if I'm going to be at home, making sure everything's all right, running errands and everything, making sure everything's stable and good on my end. Is like having an open ear, not only to hear how his day was, not only to have him be able to like be comforted by my presence and all that good stuff. I'm talking about him being able to come home and teach me something, come home and learn me about the world, learn me about what's going on. you know Romance and passion, that's another thing I definitely enjoy bringing to the table. It's the hopeless romantic in me. I won't say I've just been the best gift giver, but when I am able to give and when I have made room for myself to be able to give, I enjoy being able to give romance and to give passion, and it's not always in a sexually intimate way. It to me, romance is mostly happens outside of the bedroom. For me, romance happens when you're holding hands, walking along the beach or in the neighborhood, taking time to rub each other's feet, taking time to just to introduce certain little nice gestures, like rose petals and the bath full of bubbles. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like I'm into that kind of stuff. And I think I said and good with my hands. So um in practice, I've gone to school. I am a licensed massage therapist, and so that came about because I've always been good with my hands. When I was at church, or I was at work, or I was at school, I would just find shoulders. Like I would see someone going, "Ooh, that hurts," or like, "Oh yeah," they'll complain about their neck, and I'm like, "Oh, let me help you." And would just start massaging, and I had that natural gift. Maybe they were just saying, "Oh, that feels really good," just to make me feel better. But when they kept coming to me and people kept saying the same things over and over and over, like it wasn't just my mama and my granddaddy telling me, "Baby, your hands are blessed." It was people who I went to school with, people who I went to church with, was like, "Wow, your hands are really blessed. Like you have a really good touch." And it did not stop there, y'all. I'm not lying. In practice, when I was in the employment realm of, and working for people, oh, my clients loved my hands. Okay. So that's what I have to bring to the table. Maybe it's not much, I didn't list the whole thing that I bring to the table, but those are just some of the few things that I bring to the table and to the relationship. And that's I wouldn't list out what these attributes and these characteristics. I would expose them naturally. And there are times when it is good to be more direct in communication about what you want and what you don't want. But there's some things you it's better to just engage. It's just better to be natural and to go with it. So hopefully that helps some people out there who want to be married, who want to know what they have to offer, what they should be looking out for in someone else. That's just my 2 cents. You know, this is not law. What I say is not in stone. Take what resonates, leave the rest for somebody else. Again, I want to say Happy New Year's, everybody. If you want me to expand on any topics that I've mentioned in this video, if you like this type of material, let me know and I'll keep producing more. I also want to say to my subscribers who started watching me when I did poetry, which I still do poetry, but just know there are some videos coming out. I won't say soon, but they coming. I'm getting my creative juices flowing a lot, and I have some pieces that I've been working on. So just give me a little time, and it'll be out as soon as I'm able. Of course, always in divine timing. And if you made it to the end of the video, again, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Peace and blessings, and enjoy your day, your evening, or whatever time of day it is.